Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the BNI Partners and Excellence podcast. I'm Andy, and I am so excited today to have one of our newest members, Kallie Morales, here in the studio with Sunshine Collective Studio. Kallie, welcome to the BNI Partners and Excellence podcast.
Thank you, Andy. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you as part of our chapter. What a wonderful welcome edition. We've had this awesome growth this spring coming into the summer of 2026, and you've been a wonderful addition for that. And I look forward today to talking more about how people should refer you, what they should know about you, some backstory stuff, and then how to best choose you and what markets in San Diego you're best serving. So
Awesome.
that's where we're going to go today.
I love it.
Where do you want to start? Where do you want the story to start today? Should it start at the very beginning?
Sure.
Well, yeah, where do you want to start?
Okay. What is the beginning?
Okay, let's start. When did you first realize that you were interested in interior design?
Great question. Okay, so right out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had photography in mind, interior design, or ASL. And I wanted the shortest path possible for school because I hate school. I'd rather learn on the job site. So I thought, okay, what is the minimal amount of school that I can do, but still be able to grow my career in what it is? So I actually went to Bible college for a semester. I went to England, studied there. I have my associates in theology, random. I'll probably never use that, but I have it. And so I went to England for a semester, Italy for a semester, and New Zealand for a semester.
Oh, wow.
Little world traveler.
Yeah, what cool places to be able to go to as well.
Yeah, it was so amazing. Yeah. And then I came back and I said, okay, I really should go to school and study something. So I chose interior design and got my associates at Mesa College and went from there.
Was it like a moment, or was it over the course of time that it started narrowing to become that?
It's been so long, I don't even remember, but I think I saw that Mesa College offered your associates in interior design, and it was affordable, it was really close to home, and so I figured, you know what, let's just do this. So in between going to the different countries and getting my associates in theology, I was also working to get my associates in interior design. So I was kind of doing both back to back.
So looking back, do you notice now any little trace markers or hints maybe in the past that you just had a natural interest in these kinds of things and that materialized later on in life?
So my great-grandmother loved doing interior design things. So her home was just filled with different trinkets and things that she would do and artwork pieces. Like there was a bench she had outside, and every time I go over, she'd have it painted a different color. And so it was just so fun to see that. I'm like, oh, you can paint. And then growing up, I would move. My parents had a 4-bedroom home, and so I would kind of move to different rooms throughout the course of my life. And every time I switched rooms, I would paint my bedroom a different color. So there was a pink bedroom, there was a blue bedroom, there was a purple bedroom. As I got older and older, I would get more sophisticated with colors. But
oh, there's a sophistication scale? Oh, geez, I'm in super deep trouble. I didn't even know that. All right. First thing learned on the show today, there's a sophistication scale for paint colors. Which was your favorite room?
Ooh, actually, it was my brother's room. So we did a surfboard, beach theme. So we did some stripes on the walls. The walls were all white, and then we had some stripes. And then we found this really cool orange surfboard that we put in the corner of the room. So it was his room. That was my favorite.
Orange is a great color. I've liked orange for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why is it just because you wanted to see something different that you're like, oh, this one's going to be pink, this one's blue, purple, or because you're only mentioning paint, but did you decorate the room differently in every single one? You're mentioning the surfboard one, but
yeah,
was each of them completely different, or you just did the paint only?
I mainly did the paint, and then every month I would rearrange my room. Let's put the bed under the window, or let's put it on the closet wall, or let's rearrange, and let's get a futon bed instead of a regular bed to do something different. So it was just your basic, let's change the color and let's move around the furniture sort of idea. Yeah, it was very, very basic. Yeah,
it's just your basic, every 9-month dissatisfaction with your room.
Yes. I need a new view, so
I jokingly say that, not to tease you, but I jokingly say that because one of our daughters, Claire, is a little bit like that too, and she's consistently redoing her room or moving this piece over there and trying this and hanging these things up and taking those down and put something else, and I'm like watching all this materialize. That I'm hearing you say this, I'm like, oh.
Yep.
This might be leading somewhere.
She might be an interior designer. Have her call me. I'll tell her all about.
Might be leading somewhere.
Industry. Yes.
I
love that.
So let's talk then about since we're talking about paint colors, I guess. Let's talk about how important color is in imperial design, in interior design.
Yeah.
How important is color?
So it plays a huge factor. So if you go to a pediatrician or pediatric hospital, you'll see that there's a lot of fun, playful colors because when you take your kid to the doctor, sometimes it's not a good thing, but you want them to have a good experience going into it. And so even like the little things that you don't consider it plays a huge role. Or even Starbucks, you have those like dark moody colors, and then the countertop is bright and light and airy, and you're like, oh, I feel so calm and like cozy in here, right? So color is everything. If you have a stark white wall with stark white furniture, you're just in an insane asylum at that point. So color is everything. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe they should make that like that strap unit thing a different color.
There you
That
go.
doesn't seem like
Yeah,
very much fun.
right.
Make
Maybe
it a
like
fun color.
bright
I don't.
yellow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or orange, like that's why, the inmates are in orange so they can see them. But, off topic.
Where does color theory come from though? Because I know it's derived from. I shouldn't say I know it's derived. It seems like it's very much derived from like hundreds of years, centuries of looking at what worked and what has not worked, or what looks aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But seems like there's this psychological undertone to the whole thing. Like these
Mhm.
colors make you feel happy. These colors make you feel warm. These ones make you feel agitated and anxious, or
Right.
comfortable and lazy. Like, where's all that come from?
I don't have a good answer for that. But I think you know, seeing how humans react to different colors and seeing how they respond to different colors has a huge play in that. And like for example, just giving lots of examples, fast food restaurants, the color red, it makes you like come in, come out quickly. So look at In-N-Out, look at Chick-fil-A, look at those. Like they don't want you to
You're
sit
right.
there, and even like Chili's, they don't want you to just sit there and stay there for 4, 5, 6 hours, right? They want you in, they want you out, they want you happy, and all right, move on
On
to
your
your
way.
next task. Yeah. So just little things like that, it plays a huge impact in your daily life that you don't even realize.
What are some of the colors that you really like working with and why?
Yeah. So in the color wheel, there's like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And so something with color theory is anything across from each other on the color wheel is complementary colors. So blue and orange are across from each other. So you see a lot of those. You don't see blue and orange together, but you see like warm wood tones with like a navy blue color. So
Mm.
that color pairing is my favorite to do just because it's
Mhm.
very familiar to people. Everyone loves it. And it's just like, see, like, look at your blue. Like it just feels very calming,
Sure.
And then the rich, warm tones of like a walnut paired with maybe like a brass finish just looks very elevated and elegant. And it's an easy pairing to do. Like, it's hard to go wrong.
100% down with that. Pepperoni University, go Waves. Blue because of the ocean, orange because of the sunset right there on the Pacific.
There you go.
Go Waves. I love orange and blue. They were actually some of my favorite colors before going to Pepperdine, and then I went to school like, oh my God, your colors are orange and blue. This is amazing. I already have a lot of stuff that looks like this.
Perfect pair. Perfect match.
What a weird dude. Now, funny story. Some of you don't know this, but when I was in middle school, I had an art class, and we had to like do the color wheel
Yep.
with like watercolor painting. And your friend Andy over here is red green color deficient.
Oh, that's
So
right.
I can't differentiate really well some shades of red and shades of green, and they look like they overlap. And I got an F on the color wheel assignment. And so my mom goes to the teacher's like, did he tell you that he's colorblind? And she's like, oh no, he didn't say that.
Oh my
Here's a C.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So
I mean, passing, but also.
I went from
yeah.
F to C, but it's like, is it that much better? I don't think so.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
So
Yeah.
to this day, it's a funny little inside joke, I guess. The girls are always asking me like, "Hey, what's that color? What's that color?" I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know. You just pick whatever one you want.
Okay, but can I ask about this? Because if you're colorblind, let's say, what is it? You see red and you see it as green, but we see it as red.
In certain shades of it, yeah. So
Okay.
certain shades look very similar in settings where there's not a lot of contrast.
Right. So then, would you see a green color and just say to yourself, "Oh, that's probably red"?
No, because part of it has been learned. Like, oh, I know that is green and that's red, right? Because
Gotcha.
over time, you're like, oh, these are things that are green, or you'd be correct, you're corrected.
Yeah.
But where you can really see the difficulty is in the dot chart. the dot test when you go to the optometrist and they have all the colors on it and they say, what number is on here or what letter or whatever. And I'm over there like, oh, that says number 47. They're like, no, that's a horse. I'm like, oh, that's not the same thing.
Yes.
So that's how they start knowing which one you have. And my
Yeah.
grandfather was also colorblind, but he was yellow-blue colorblind, which to me seemed crazy because they're so different.
Yeah.
When I tell people red-green, they're like, yeah, those are just as different. Not to me, they're not.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So color theory has
Oh my
been
gosh.
interesting to me because partly because I'm interested in the psychology of things, partly. And the other part is having my own experience with color growing up and then as an adult, and then even doing this as a career. It's like, wait, so you have a videography business and you're colorblind? Am I sure about doing this with you?
Yeah.
But I have Caitlin, who you met.
Yes. No, and your setup is amazing. Like, it couldn't even tell that you're colorblind. So,
Well,
you did a
that's
great
good because I had help.
job.
I want to talk about the application of design and like where your style comes from, why you work in certain areas, and I don't want to say avoid others, but you certainly seem like you have an inclination to the types of spaces you love recreating with people.
Yeah.
So, what is some of your personal theory around interior design that are kind of like fingerprints or DNA elements and trace markers for your style that shows up in the jobs you do?
Yeah, so my biggest thing with the trends and like, don't do the trendy stuff because it's gonna, go out of style in 5 years. I actually hate trends because if you really like something, if you like the orange and blue pairing, I'm not gonna do orange and blue in your space, but I'm gonna make it so that, it's the walnut and the blue, right? I'm gonna make it elevated and look good. And if people like the white oak cabinets with the white oak flooring, like if you love that, let's do it. Who cares if it goes out of style in 5 years? It's your place, it's your home, it's your office. Like, let's make it reflect your business. So my little tagline is design that reflects your passion. So when I come in and I help someone with a new office space, a new studio space, anything like that, I don't want it to project I don't want my Sunshine Collective stamp of approval on it. It's going to be there in little tiny areas, but I want it to be fully you and fully your branding, fully, it looks like you because that's the goal. It's not for it to look like a sunshine room, right?
Mhm.
I'm going to bring the sunshine in however I can in little areas, but my goal is to make it look like the client's branded space, like it's
Mhm.
their big old brand on it.
Do you ever experience challenges with people knowing what they want, or do most people when they hire you, they already kind of have an idea and a vision? Like where do
Yeah.
they fall on that spectrum of I already know what I want, I just need someone to come and pull it all together versus I have no clue. Can you please just do it for me?
So it's actually a demographic thing that I've seen. So
Oh
most,
shoot, is it?
yeah. The
Okay.
women that I work with, they already have a Pinterest board and they've been like looking at Instagram and they have all these things saved. And so I gather everything that they have and I say, of this picture, what exactly do you like about this? What exactly? Because they could be a multi,
Mm.
there could be so many different things that they are pulling from, which it doesn't make sense from an outside perspective. But when I get, oh, I really like that light color countertop. Oh, I really like this really deep blue, stool or whatever it is, then I can say, oh, you like this contrast of light versus dark. You like that big, impactful thing. But then the guys, on the other hand, which I actually prefer to work with men in projects because they don't really know what they want. And so I come and I do the same thing. I say, okay, you don't know what you want, but give me an idea of your business and what you're looking for and how you want your employees to feel when they walk into the door. And then I pull concept images and I say, okay, do you want to go like really dark and moody and like, kind of like a cigar lounge? Or do you want to go light, bright, and airy with like a pop of color here and there? And then that's when they're like, oh, definitely this way, definitely not that. So then from there, I run with it, which makes my life a little bit easier because I'm not trying to like, for the women, it does make it easier because I'm not like having to come up with more and more ideas. They kind of know the path and I just follow it. But for the men, I make the path for them, which I love doing that.
So given the fact that there's kind of some distinct differences between the men and the women, how does each know when it is the right time to start consulting with you?
So that's the tricky one because interior design is a newer profession. It's been around for only 150 years or so.
That actually sounds like a long time.
Yeah, I guess it is a long time, but like compared to a
It's
stir
pretty new. It's
dentist,
150 years old.
or like an architect, like
Yeah,
an architect,
I understand.
Yeah.
I know.
So, anyways, a lot of people are like, I don't need it. Nowadays, I can use ChatGPT. I can just bring someone in. So, which I use ChatGPT. It's great for coming up with concepts, but then when you're going to execute, you need a lot of the finite detail things. You need to make sure that everything is like equally proportioned and all of that. So I always love to come in very, very early into a project. Let's say there's a company that's moving into a new office space. I actually want to go with you to see what office spaces you're looking at to lease before you sign the lease documents to make sure, okay, why are you moving to an office space? Number one, is it because you don't like the location or is it because you're growing? You're growing. Okay, let's find you an office space that you can grow into for the next 3 to 5 years because that's how long your lease is going to be. Because if they find an office space that's already going to be too small from them on day one, like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And then they're going to spend all this money on design and then they're going to
They
move
could
in 6
outgrow it
months.
fast, and they spent time, money, and effort, and they're going to go do it again. Yeah.
Exactly. So I love to get in early. If I don't get in early, if they've already signed the lease, they're kind of overwhelmed with running their job and trying to design this beautiful space. Or if it's a storefront like a cafe, they're trying to run their first shop. They don't have time and energy to project manage the second shop, which they want it to be a similar vibe. Then I come in and I say, okay, this wall's going to be painted this. Make sure the flooring is prepped and we do this paint or we do this flooring. So a lot of the little details that it's overwhelming for them, I take over the overwhelm and I kind of project manage everything. And I say, do you want this or that? And they pick and I run with it. Do you want, this sofa or that chair or this table or, all those tiny little
Yeah.
details that it's overwhelming. I take away the overwhelm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
yeah.
how is it? Is it as simple as saying this just overwhelming for others and it's not overwhelming for you? Because it sounds like not sounds like, I know there's a lot of intricate details, especially given the state of or the requirements of some businesses. Physical space need different things than others, right?
Mhm.
A marriage and family therapist office is gonna have different needs than like the dental office
Right.
with equipment and machines and all these certifications you have to have for equipment or whatever. But like, how do you manage like all that stuff without like also become overwhelmed?
So I have a system, like I have an internal system, mostly spreadsheets, that I try and track everything on that end. And I'm also, managing multiple different projects, and I want to make sure that each client that I take on, they feel like I'm their number one priority, or they're my number one priority, right? I don't want them to be like, oh, she doesn't have time for me to do this. She doesn't. So I only take a minimum of projects on. Number one. And number two, I try and meet with the client at least once a week. I meet with the people on site. I try and go on site multiple times throughout the project to make sure things are running smoothly, things are on time. And then as far as ordering, tracking deliveries, making sure nothing is damaged, all of that, it's all in a spreadsheet.
So tracked, organized, but also like keeping tabs and being on site.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Constant communication with a contractor and the client.
At this point in your career, what would you say is your most favorite part of what you get to do?
Ooh, I like it all. Honestly, as stressful as it is, the construction phase of it is probably my favorite because there's so many things that need to get done. And that's the most stressful part for the client to have to manage their daily life and this. I love to come in and take over and kind of boss people around, like, hey, this needs to be done today. Go do that. Hey, that needs to be done tomorrow. Go do that. I know it's not on the schedule, but change the schedule because we're just going to get it done. So I feel like that's the fun part of it.
Point and do, the
Exactly.
point and do.
Which doesn't get done. No, sometimes it doesn't. But then the next day, I just get to boss them
Yeah.
around again. But then I can see like the client, we worked so hard to get to this point, and they start to see the light at the end of the tunnel of like, oh my gosh, my new flooring is in. Oh my gosh, all these desks are in for these offices. My employees are going to be so excited to work here now instead of it being white walls and white desk and black chair, like it just, they can see the transformation now,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Well, and you're describing this, and immediately my mind is like envisioning some things I've seen on TV and like rehabilitations or re-envisioning spaces or completely tearing a place down and redesigning it, and then the host slash designer has like a favorite part of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer is, I love the construction part the most, or I love delivering the final product to the client. And in some cases, even in the episodes I've watched before, it's like, wait, you guys are supposed to have this done yesterday. That needs to be done today. We have this thing coming tonight and tomorrow. And so I can imagine that's constantly shuffling and juggling like priorities and logistics like every day.
Yeah, every day there's some new adventure that comes up that it's fun.
So you're saying it's not just TV drama?
No, but I will say I hate is a strong word, but I really despise
What's
HGTV.
one step before hate?
Great
Severely
despise.
dislike.
Yeah, there you go. Because there's always a problem, which yes, there always is a problem, but the problem that you always see on TV, they already knew about this problem 5 weeks ago when they walked the site, you know? So it's so unrealistic in the sense of, yes, they show you the beautifully designed or the renders that happens, but there's so much before work that happens. And when they do the final reveals of the client picked every single thing in that. They're not like, oh, I picked this tile for you because I knew you love it. I picked this sofa. No, you didn't. The client signed off on that because it's the client's money. So
This
that's
is
what I hate about that is you didn't pick it. They did. They might have picked it, but the client signed off.
and then I'm asking you a show question. Are there any of the shows that you have seen where you're like, oh, this looks most like what's representative of what we do?
Yeah, I feel like so Joanna Gaines, I think they do a pretty good job of showing a realistic like expectation because it's a designer and a contractor. So you kind of have both of those worlds, and it's a husband and wife, and they show their like lifestyle. So I think that's great. Honestly, I don't watch a lot of HGTV shows,
Well,
but
that's why I say
of the ones,
it's a risky
yeah.
question because you may not even watch any of them.
Yeah. But I think there was one, I don't remember who it was, but they basically bought a castle and they redid this whole, or maybe they bought a hotel. I don't know
Oh
what they
no, are you
bought.
talking about the chateau? On
Oh,
the French chateau one?
I am not talking about that one, but
Oh,
that one was a cool one
yes,
to
that one was
see.
super cool. We
Yes.
watched the whole family watched that whole thing.
Yes, yes, that one was a cool, and that one was more realistic because they're literally opening things, and well, kind of, sort of. There's drama, but
Yeah, well, yeah. There's drama, but like they literally bought this castle that was in disrepair and like falling apart. Like, oh, we actually have to functionally fix this. The freaking roof is made out of straw and hay, and it's got a hole in it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that one
that
was
one was
fascinating, but
cool.
that one looks like a huge undertaking that you have to have a lot of patience and I'd say financing
Oh,
for.
yeah, yeah,
There's a lot that went into that
100%.
thing.
Yeah, there's a lot, but that one was well recorded. I mean, there was always the, oh no, this post doesn't fit. Okay, well, we already tried it and it already didn't fit. So,
Right.
but anyways, yeah, they have to have drama.
You were going to mention a different show though, and I threw the chateau on the
Yeah,
table.
I
What were you going to think
I
of?
want to say it was Joanna Gaines. It could have been Studio McGee, but anyways, they bought like this large hotel or castle or something, and then they showed you the process of renovating, and they really did show the process of here's what we selected, here's why we selected it, here's the construction phase. There was one of like, oh, we were gonna add the staircase, but the last minute we did. Like, you don't last minute add a staircase,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much more that goes behind it, but
Yeah.
in general, it was a good one. Yeah.
We were going to put a spiral staircase and at the last minute we build an escalator.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
what? No. That's not even going to fit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a part of what you have to do that is a little bit dislikable that you're like, oh, I don't like doing this. It's not my favorite, but I know I have to do it because it's part of it's a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
clearly not spreadsheets. It sounds like you like
no, I
those.
love spreadsheets. Yeah, yeah. I
All
love
right.
it. Yes. If anyone teaches Excel really well, I would love to meet you because I want to know all the Excel tricks. Anyways, besides the point. Um,
Andrew Plummer, you might have a nerd request coming your way, buddy.
yes. That'd be great. A part that I really don't
And I don't mean like
love.
dislike, like in
Yeah.
this sense, like despise, like, oh,
Right,
I
right.
can't do it. But you're like, it's just not the coolest thing.
So,
Like looking at paint chips and figuring out which one to use. Like, is
yeah.
that kind of like the meh?
I would actually say the marketing aspect of things. So I actually, if you see my Instagram, shout out to Sierra Felix because I don't do my Instagram. I hire someone out for that. She creates these beautiful things for me. And I'm just, every time I try and create a reel, I'm sitting there for 2 hours and it's the silliest reel ever. And I just delete it. I'm like, why do I spend my time? But I think the marketing, which it's not like the actual design process, but trying to like market and promote myself, it's not fun to me.
So shout out to Sierra, huh?
Yeah, shout out to Sierra.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, girl.
your content's really good, and it's what like I was telling you the other day. It's really well thought out, and it's also really well executed. So I was like, oh, it's a good match for what you're describing here today that you do in the space of what your profession is and helping people with their commercial spaces. But like she's representing that really well and how she's making and creating your content too.
Yeah, and she does a great job too. Like I, give her a couple ideas of like, what if we do this and that? And then she comes back to me and is like, here's 15 posts idea about all these 20 other things that you didn't
Yeah.
think about. And I'm like, you're amazing. This is so great that I don't have to think about this.
You know, the only thing that make this better is if you put it on a spreadsheet.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like give me a spreadsheet.
Give me a spreadsheet with your
PowerPoint.
ideas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Submit it by fax.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh, so when it comes to, well, I guess I didn't clearly designate enough. Like, where do you fall between commercial, doing commercial interior design and like residential? Are you doing any residential? Are you doing it kind of as an exception? Where are you positioning yourself business wise?
Yeah. So what I like to do is I only like to take on one residential project per quarter. Meaning it's not just a living room refresh or, a new dining table. It's a full home renovation. And so the reason I only take on four per year or one per quarter is because they take on it's a lot more work to do, and I want to make sure that the client feels that they have my full undivided attention on this project. There's a lot of like, I'm making their home into their dream home. They're putting a lot of money, a lot of trust into me and in the contractor. They want to make sure that their home looks beautiful for the next 20 years because they probably won't touch it for 20 years, So, or, their kids will move in and their kids will want to do something. So, yeah, why are you laughing at that?
I'm laughing because of the question I'm going to ask you,
Okay.
which is, have you walked into places that haven't renovated in longer than 20 years and it felt like you're stepping into a timepiece?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, where you're like, whoa, that my great grandma had that chair, like, and you
Yeah.
have that. That's wild.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm asking, because like in social media space, you see these like, oh, remember this when you were a kid? And it's like about the 80s, whatever. It's like the Trapper Keeper and
Yes.
cassette tapes and whatever. And then like 70s carpet
Yes, I
and
was gonna
Tupperware.
say. Yep.
And so when you were saying that, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I remember my grandma's house used to have this like couch with the plastic on it and a runner down the hallway and red carpet. And like at the time, I don't think twice about it. I'm like a young kid. I'm like thinking about baseball and playing outside.
Right.
And then now I think about it, I'm like, oh man, that's gross.
Yeah, yeah, it is wild, just the different things.
What's the craziest thing you've walked into?
I'm very lucky that I haven't ran into like very, very old homes. It's more of like, I have hardwood floors that if you sand them down, it won't look good. So let's just lay like LVT or like luxury vinyl planks on top of it. That way it's just call it a day. And yeah,
You
but
just recovered up.
exactly. Yeah.
So if someone's watching this and they're thinking, oh, I might need your help for this or that, like where budget wise should they find themselves? Let's talk ranges, because I know it's
Yeah.
like really hard to nail down without
Mhm.
any of the specifics we've talked about that go
Yeah.
into the details of deciding the products and volume and space size and all that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a residential remodel on a house, what should they budget for interior designing services? Is it 5 to 10,000? Is it 20 or 30? Where should people be looking at in a range?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I want to follow up this question with, would this number be just the design fees or all in? Because
Yeah,
sometimes,
for having a
yeah,
professional interior designer
yeah,
actually make that house the way you want it to walk into it every day after work for 20 years,
yeah,
wake up into that same place for every day for the
mhm,
next 20 years.
yeah.
It's going to cost some money. So let's give people a little bit of an idea of what that range might look like.
So I would say for a full home renovation, of course, depending on how large or how small it is, it would start at $10,000. And that would cover, floor plans, 3D views, helping you select your finishes and even furniture, things like that. So that's like all in $10,000. And then we would do like a project management fee on the side if you wanted that. So that's sort of an add on. But I would say, yeah, it starts at 10K. A lot of designers, like they'll price it based on location. So if you're just going to do your kitchen, if you're just going to do your master bathroom, if you're just going to do certain areas, piecemealing it sort of. But yeah, I also try and charge a flat fee. So I'll come look at your home and see what it is that you want to change and then say, okay, it's going to be this much. A lot of designers do it hourly or retainer, things like that. But I want my clients to know up front, okay, it's going to cost $10,000 to do this. The contractor's going to come in. He's also going to give you a rough flat fee. Okay, this is going to be $100,000 plus materials. So materials might going to be $50,000, right? So now you have, okay, it's going to be 160K ish. It could go up to 200K, but like here's that cushion.
Yeah. If I was thinking when you're talking about the project management fee as like an aside,
Mhm.
if you design someone's place and you're not project managing it, who the heck is doing it?
The
Why
client.
wouldn't you? Oh, what? Why?
Which is awful. It's an awful way to go, but some
My reaction
people-
is sorry. My reaction, I'm like that. That sounds terrible to me.
So, and some people react the opposite way of you, like, no, I can order all this stuff. I have time. So some people are retired and they have nothing else to do but order their vanity or order their mirrors or
No,
order
I,
their
I
rug.
I get that, but that doesn't mean that they know how to like walk onto a project site and know if that if this certain materials being installed properly
Right.
or laid properly. And you're mentioning, oh, if it hasn't been done in 20 years, then you most likely probably don't know. So
Definitely.
that's why I'm asking the whole, and I hope it's not such a stupid, naive question I
No.
get made fun of, but it's like, I don't understand why someone would self project manage if they've already hired you to like help pick all the stuff and then would want you to oversee it get done properly, especially if they're spending so much money on it.
Right, right. So sometimes, like, let's say it's a contractor who's already retired. He kind of knows how to do this, or he's done his mom's house 15 years ago and he's kind of like he did it with his own hands. And so he kind of knows the ins and the outs. So those are the rare people that we find that they want to project manage. If I don't project manage, I'll still come to site to make sure things are installing properly, make sure the contractor is like, oh, you laid the tile wrong. Do it again per the plans. But I'll have plans. I'll have all the details that they need. So if they don't do it per the plans, they have to do it again.
Yeah.
But
Well, thank you for clarifying that because, like you said that, I'm like, wait, why would there even be an option that you wouldn't be project managing it? That sounds
right.
so weird.
Yeah.
But I also understand now you're saying this is there can be an exception to the rule. Someone who's
Yes.
been in the trades for a long time and done the work that you're saying it needs to be done, they can actually follow the plan because they're skilled and versed, I would say, in
Yeah.
that area. That
Exactly.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I get that. I just, as someone who does not do those things, I'm like, why would I even say yes to doing that? That doesn't make
Right.
any sense at all to a guy like me.
Yeah, which is nice for me because we either get you or we get the very opposite end of like, I know I can do this, no big problem, no problem. But when you get to the middle of the project, most of those people call me and say, actually, can you come project manage me? And I'm like, yeah, of course, no
Yeah.
problem.
So
I'll be there today.
the
Yeah.
call still ends up coming in, huh?
It
Okay.
does. It
Well,
does. But you got to let them. There's a lot of like DIY designers too, where they want me to help them get them to a specific point of like, these are the selections. And then they'll go out and like do it themselves, or they'll put in the tile, or they'll do their own flooring. And it's like, you can do that, or you can just pay a contractor and it'll be half the time, half the money, and half the headache
that's
to
awesome.
hire someone. So, yeah.
So nowadays, where do you find your referrals from? Who are they coming from? What kind of other industries or people in business are hearing the need before it's getting to you, so that me and other people in our chapter and even others watching this video would know that maybe they're staying in the middle of a good referral for you. Who are some of the other like business people
Okay.
that are referring you
Yeah.
jobs? Is it architects? Is it general contractors? Is it
hmm
realtors and brokers? Is it office managers who have a bunch of commercial space? Who's calling you and hiring you?
So because I'm a little bit newer, I don't have that pool of people yet, but typically an architect would call me and say, "Hey, I have this new build. I would love to bring you in on this project." Or a contractor saying, "Hey, I have this huge home that I'm going to do, but I don't have time to do like the interior design portion." Typically contractors have in-house like architects or designers or things like that that they use, but when something's way too big and overwhelming and they have a ton of other people, then they're like, "Can we just bring you in and can you just help us with that?" So
Mhm.
that's what I've been seeing lately. But the referrals, BNI, I've been getting a lot of, a couple of BNI referrals, which has been amazing. Of like, hey, I know a guy who they're moving in to a new office space and they need help. So actually, I just got a referral where they're moving to a new office space and they just want furniture. And I'm like, sure, I can help with furniture. And they're like, we'll do the paint, we'll do the new flooring, we'll do all of this. And so when I walked the site with them, the client had picked up probably 7 phone calls while we were walking. And he actually, like, he had to end a couple of them. Like, he didn't pick up some of them, but he was picking up phone call after. He's like, I'm so sorry. And I was fine with it because I was measuring the space. But I realized he is so overwhelmed with his current day-to-day job. How is he going to manage this project?
Oh
So
man.
I brought up the idea of, hey, I know you still have to paint, do new flooring, all the artwork, all the furniture. Instead of me just doing the furniture, why don't I do this whole space for you? I'll bring in a flooring guy, I'll bring in a painter, I'll bring in all these different trades. I'll manage this whole thing for you and I'll do like a full service design. And they were like, yeah,
Yeah.
why wouldn't we do that? Like, we're too busy with our day job to manage this. So that was a great thing of like, they didn't really know what I did.
hmm
But when I saw the space and saw their needs, it was easier to say, let me handle this for you.
Is there an unlikely source of referrals that maybe just doesn't naturally come to mind? Like, so I mean, I can toss out, oh, the general contractor and the architect and the property manager, but like, is there an unlikely source that might actually be a great person who just unnaturally would be a person referring you business or a type of work?
Hmm.
The reason I ask is because over my time in BNI, there sometimes you uncover unlikely sources of possible referrals, and
Mhm.
when we tell other people that, they go, "Oh my gosh, I know like 3 people that do that thing or in that same building or that same kind of industry, and I just didn't know that would be a good contact for you." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, well here's why," and then I can bridge it.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't thought about that answer, so I don't know. But I would say, actually, I had a one-on-one with Mark Garza this morning, and he was like, "Oh, let me connect you with a couple attorneys who have offices." And in my mind, anyone that has an office space, like, call me, you know. So it's sort of like, do you have an office space? Yeah. Or let me just go knock on all the office space doors and say, "Hey, are you moving soon? Or do you want to stay in your office suite for a long time, but you hate how it looks? Let's change that." So yeah, like, I'm not sure, but I did that answer your question?
It does, and I love that you said Mark Garza because he's like kind of always looking in people's windows,
Yeah.
so he would know if they need design or not.
Yes,
So I'm like,
yes.
Mark, you're doing your job, but
Yeah,
like, dude, take a minute to look in the window and look at the design and be like, yo, this place looks old.
there
Not
you
just that
go.
you're surveilling the place, okay? And just case the joint, send the referral. You know what I mean?
There you go, there you go.
He's probably sitting outside my window right now, actually.
Yeah.
He's probably over there.
Listening,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, he probably has a listening device in my office that I don't even know about.
Boy, yeah.
Oh, shoot. And he'll probably never tell
That's
me.
great, yeah.
That's the craziest part is there probably is a listening device in here and I don't even know it.
Oh my gosh.
I should hire him to come and like do the bug sweep.
There you
You
go.
come
He'll
find
find his own
you come
thing.
find your own bug. Come find your own bug, Mark.
There you go.
He seemed like, wow, you guys really were trashing me on the show a lot.
My
So
gosh.
tell me about what's on your like the horizon for you. Is there something new that you're looking forward to doing or accomplishing or taking on that you're excited about? Is there something that's changing in interior design that you're really eager to adopt?
Yeah. So I would say, let me backtrack a little bit. So I've been in the design industry for the last 10 years, focusing on commercial spaces. So senior living facilities, government facilities, office spaces, things like that, dabbling in residential, but focusing more on commercial. And so last year I took a couple projects on, like, on the side, and I thought I should do this as a full-time business. Like, why am I not working for myself, you know? So, instead of the 9 to 5, you're 24/7. Why not? That's the dream, right?
Womp
No.
womp. Yeah.
So, I started Sunshine Collective Studio in January of 2026 this year. And so my goal is just to kind of grow it and flourish it like any other entrepreneur would want for their business. And just to see where it takes me and focusing more on the commercial side of things, but doing residential here and there. And so I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I just want her to see that when you work hard for something that you really love and you're passionate about, you can do anything, like kind of Barbie. You can be an astronaut or a horseback rider or a interior designer or,
Yeah.
like you could do anything that you want. And so just inspiring her to do that. And then I'm going to pivot a little bit. So the reason why I named my company Sunshine Collective Studio is sunshine. I want to always be bringing sunshine with me wherever I go, like that ray of light and just the calmingness of it and like, the sun is finally out. What a beautiful day, And I want to bring that with me in my business. So whenever someone walks into a space that I designed, I want them to feel like, oh, this is really nice and beautiful and sunshine, not in the way of like yellow walls everywhere, like we're not doing that, but just in like the calmness of this, what the sun brings you. And then collective. So I actually, BNI is perfect for this because I don't want it to just be me, the Callie, the interior designer. I want it to be a collection of people that come together to do this and to do it with me really well. So I want, like someone who's redoing their branding. I want to bring in a branding guy. Hey, I know a specialist who's really good. He did my branding. Why don't you come and shout out to Luke Meyer? Um, so I just want to have a collection of people that I know and trust, and that I can give my client all of those referrals of, hey, I've worked with these people, they're amazing. They're part of my like collection of people. And then studio is interior design. So I actually do some landscaping projects as well. So I didn't want to do Sunshine Collective interiors because I don't just do interiors. So if you need a landscaper, let me know. Very random, I know. We're not talking about that today. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, so I just wanted to bring in the sunshine, bring in the people, and make beautiful spaces.
Well, I love it though, because you're also looking at, beyond the interior design part. Even you mentioned the landscape part. It's like it's part of your house too, and it's
Yes.
part of what you're coming home to every day, and what you're waking up to, and you're leaving. And I've unfortunately seen projects where they budgeted for just one part of it, and then the other part is completely like left
So
undone.
sad.
You're like, well, now there's like this distortion. That's really beautiful and neat, and then what happened over here?
Yes.
And so I think it is good that you blend both those skill sets and those interests together too.
Yeah. Yeah. Really important.
What is something that you aren't often asked that you think people should be asking you?
Ooh.
Something that's like, oh, I have like this really important nugget of wisdom or insight to share, but man, people don't ask me about this.
I think a lot of people think interior design is just like the pretty pillows and the pretty colors and like the pretty things. But when I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you did project management. I didn't know you that you like drew up my space in a 3D view so I can actually visually see what's going on. I didn't know that you source all these different options for me." So I think, for example, HGTV, they show you the 10% of what interior design actually is, but there's so much more. And within interior design, there's like branches like any company is. So there's a branch for a furniture dealership, a flooring dealership, like someone that just sells pillows, someone that just sells lights, someone that sells you the fabric to put on the pillows. They don't sell you the pillows, but they sell you the fabric. So there's just so many different facets to interior design that, again, people, if you're not in this world, you have no idea what that is.
Mhm.
So I think that's something that is fun to share with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think it's neat that you're in this pursuit, and I think it's awesome to have. Well, it's awesome always to have new members come into BNI Partners and Excellence, but there are so many of the new members, such as you, that have come in a concentrated period of time with a depth of experience.
Hmm.
I'm really excited for this season and this next like growth scale for our group, because um, the momentum is like good, but momentum can be fleeting.
Right.
But when you have like quality people, that momentum can be fleeting, but the quality doesn't change.
Yes.
And I'm just so excited because I've been conducting all these interviews with the newer members, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're on the move. This is great. It's not something we say. It's like it's happening.
Yes. And what's even more exciting is that there's women in the group. Like
Oh
three
man,
of
yes,
us that just joined are women.
yes,
And it's super exciting to see
yeah,
that there's more women in the
yeah,
workforce. And like
yeah,
I mean, my industry is mostly women. We have the
yeah,
contractors as the men, but it's really cool to see these
yeah.
outside women like building up their own companies and wanting to thrive.
Yeah, and I know just before you joined us, we had like twice as many women in our chapter, and they couldn't renew for a variety of reasons. And it's unfortunately been it's a part of the life cycle of BNI, especially when it comes to having household responsibilities at the same time as a career.
Yeah.
Those things have unfortunately clashed, and not in the favor of having balance in our men to women ratio. So I'm
Right.
super happy to have more women in our group too, because for a while it's like, oh wow, there's like only 3 women in our group. What is going on here? And we've had plentiful prior to that. So I'm
Yeah.
really glad to have that balance as well. And I'm a dad of 3 daughters. Like my whole house is an imbalance in the other way.
Yes.
I'm the only
Yes.
one. I'm the only male. And I'm the only one without hair. So it's like two
Oh
for
my
two.
gosh. Yeah.
Um, well, I want to ask you a couple. Well, ask you a couple of final questions, and they're just more like personal in nature. But I know there's probably a lot of people that you might want to spend more time with, or that you didn't get to spend time with, but you'd want to. But if you were able to share a meal with someone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Ooh, I heard you ask this to another
Oh,
podcaster,
I'll
and
ask it
I'm
to
like,
everybody.
yes. Oh, it's such a good question. Oh man, this is hard. Okay, I will say, so my grandma actually, she died last year, and it's we for my great grandma, her mom, every Thursday or Tuesday, we would go over to her house and we would have dinner with her, and it was so fun. So my great grandma lived until she was 92, I think.
Wow.
So for, for 10 years, I want to say, we would go over every single Thursday, and that was so fun. So when my great grandma passed away, my grandma was probably in her 70s, 65, 70 when that happened. So we're like, we don't need to do that for Grandma DJ. So, but recently, like a couple years before she passed away, I'm like, we should do family dinners again because it's so fun just to be with her. And, you never spend enough time with your grandparents. So we started doing that like maybe 2 or 3 years before she died, and she died of cancer. So it was a quick, it went quick and it was very smooth. So I'm really glad about that aspect. But I think I would love to have a meal with her one more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not supposed to make me cry on this podcast, Andy.
It was just a question. My
Wait,
bad.
I answered it.
No. I'm not trying to sidestep responsibility. I do ask the question, everybody, because I sometimes think not sometimes. I know I don't even stop long enough sometimes to think about it. I ask it a lot, but I'm not often like asked it. But I do have an answer for it.
Wait, yeah. Can I ask you then?
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
Who would you have dinner with, dead or alive, or meal?
So my mom's father, Edward Dobman, I would want to spend more time with him, asking him questions, because when he was around and I could ask him questions, I was too young to know the types of questions I would want to ask him now at this stage of my life about family, faith, fortitude. I'm just picking F words. Like he's stuck through an entire career at the same place for like 50 years, and he was an engineer and helped build machines that like we use today. And I never knew enough about those parts of his life as a kid to know to ask and be interested and curious about them. Yeah. And he was also in World War II, like he was overseas. And then I didn't know until like later in my life that after he had served overseas, he was appointed to the White House Communications Department and like worked at the White House.
Whoa, that's cool.
And I was like, what? I didn't know this. So he is the first one. I do have a second one, which is my dad's uncle Henry Cruz. So he's my great uncle, Henry Cruz. He jumped off of the USS Arizona on D-Day in Pearl Harbor, and he lived until 2012.
Whoa!
And by the time I was old enough to kind of understand like what that meant, and that he was directly connected and was a survivor of all that, he wasn't able to really retell or share details about it anymore.
Yeah.
And so even though he lived a lot longer, and also the idea of even asking those questions was kind of like, I don't want to bother him with that.
Right.
He's one of like 15 remaining survivors, or 20 at this point. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But it is something that I look back at often and go, I think I would want to just sit and listen.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
Yeah. So those are my
stories.
I know I always ask for one answer, but I have to.
I love it. That's great.
Okay. Well, so if I hand you a microphone and I put you in an arena with 100,000 people and you get to say thanks to somebody, I know you have lots of people in your life that care about you and you care about. Who would you want to say thanks to, and what would you want to say?
Ooh, first, I want to say thank you to my husband, Gabriel Morales. I wouldn't have been able to do BNI and met you without him watching our sweet daughter. So thank you for supporting me. He's also learned, he's picked up woodworking. So anything custom that I need him to build for a project, he figures it out and he builds it. He's so good at it. So super exciting to have him on my team. But just thank you for all your support and your love, and just letting me fulfill this dream, because it's been really, really fun to do. I would say my parents, they just brought me up in a world that like, you can do anything. They didn't shove it down my throat, but they're like, yeah, whatever you want to do. Sure, no problem. Like, go off overseas for, a couple months, go study interior design, like whatever you want to do. So they've always been a big support to me and just a motivator, because they both work so hard too. So yeah. It's really cool to see my parents working hard, and then, myself and my brother as well. He's a hard worker, and I would say another one is my brother. He's a huge fan of mine, and it's so cute to see, because he's like, I have an interior design question. What should I do with this? What paint color should I do that? We're painting our chicken coop, and I'm like, you can figure out what color to paint your chicken coop, So just shout out to my brother. You are the best, and you're a great brother. So yeah, I would say those people.
That's awesome. Great answer. And I agree, because I know your mom and dad. I like your mom and dad a lot. They're wonderful people. So I'm so glad to be in this shared space with you, having known them. So it's nice to have you in our chapter and also in our life. And actually, you know what? I actually have I have some rapid fire questions. Can I ask you some rapid fire questions?
Let's do it. Yeah.
You got already. You're like, oh, let's do this.
All right. Yep.
All right. Stripes or polka dots?
Ooh, stripes.
Stripes.
Yes,
Why?
for sure. Well, number one, it's in my branding. I have some stripes on my, in my dress, so I have to say stripes. But I think they're more like sophisticated, whereas polka dots are a little like Minnie Mouse, you know?
Okay. Forest green or navy blue?
Ooh. Let's go forest green. Yeah, forest green.
Bronze or gold?
Bronze, for sure, hands down.
Bronze with forest green or bronze with navy blue?
Oh, they both look so good together. Oh, okay, I'd keep it forest green. Yep.
We're picking favorite kids.
We are. Yes.
Yeah, forest green and bronze right now.
Yeah, looks so
hot.
good.
That-
I love
but-
that you know
But
this.
isn't that a trending thing though too? Is that one of those things where you're like, that's an exception? Or is
But
it
I
like a
hate
trend that you...
trends.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you hate trends, but like it is a dope combination.
It is. It is a great combination. It'll be a great combination in a year and in 20 years and yesterday. So, yes. And so
yesterday
it's
and
trendy,
forever.
but,
Okay.
like Instagram's making it trendy.
Okay. Modern or mid-century modern?
Ooh, mid-century modern, hands down. Yeah.
Okay. Why?
So I love Herman Miller. I don't know if you know that furniture company, but like the Eames lounge chair, like paired with, it's so beautiful. You know, like how can you
Yeah.
not bring those mid-century items into your home and make it mid-century modern?
Yeah, kind of like makes you think of like, it makes you want a cocktail right away.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Winter or summer?
Summer, for sure. I love the beach. Yeah, summer.
Okay. Morning person or night owl?
Morning. I cannot stay up past 9 for the life of me. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. That's
Yeah.
not good.
I know. I know.
9.
Well, also I wake up early, so like.
Oh,
you
okay.
know,
Well, that
you're-
I shouldn't have said shoot. Maybe you get up. Maybe you get up at 4. I have no idea.
No, not like Mark Garza. I do not get up at 4.
Mark Garza. Like again, that guy's doing
I know.
overnight.
He's saying something. in my ear. Make sure to
Surveillance.
say my name.
Yeah. He's got some crazy. The guy just has crazy stories.
He's awesome. He's
Yeah.
so cool.
Marble or granite?
Marble. I would say marble. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
marble.
Yeah, marble. Final
Okay,
answer.
so then this is the last one. Then, stained concrete or stone?
Ooh. Wait, but what is it for? Like,
Well, you had a marble question a second
Yeah.
ago, so I don't know if marble and stone, if that's too much, or if marble isn't going to go good with the stained concrete. Just as a now, with maybe I should have said like without all that other stuff. Like if
Yeah.
you had to pick one, what do you think you lean more towards now?
but is it for like the floors or is it for
Yeah, for like the floors.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Mm.
flooring. Would you go if you had only those two choices, like travertine or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Would you go with a stone or would you go with stained concrete these days?
I think I would go with a stone just because there's more options and the stained concrete kind of looks like we didn't have enough budget, so let's make the stained concrete look really cool.
Okay,
You know?
all right.
Yeah.
I thought that was my final one. Last one. Last
I love that you
last
have
one.
all these.
Last one. Is the garage a place for cars or a place for stuff?
Oh, stuff, hands down. Yeah, you can wash a car any day. You have, like you got to get your gym equipment, you got to get your woodworking stuff, you got to get your storage, What would you say?
There's your takeaway, folks. If you want your house redesigned with Callie, the garage is not included. I'm just kidding. She'll find someone to come and epoxy it and make it really nice.
Yes, for sure.
Well, thanks. I was thinking about your answers, and I was like, wait, hold on. I have all these questions I want to ask. So thanks for letting me do the quick rapid fire.
So good.
Tell everyone where they can find you if they want to reach you.
So Sunshine Collective Studio on Instagram, actually at sunshineco.studio on Instagram or online, the World Wide Web, sunshinecostudio.com. Yeah.
Awesome. And if you are in business and you are looking to network with other professionals that are passing qualified referrals to each other to grow one another's business with the spirit and attitude of givers gain, you can come down and network with Callie, myself, and the rest of the crew at BNI Partners in Excellence every single Wednesday. That is right, rain or shine. Every single Wednesday down at the Chula Vista Golf Course in Bonita. That's right, the Chula Vista Golf Course in Bonita, 4475 Bonita Road. We meet every week. 6:45 starts open networking. Our meeting starts at 7, and you can register yourself as a visitor by clicking in the link in the description box below. Callie, thank you so much for coming on to the BNI Partners and Excellence show. I hope you had a good time today. It was fun to interview you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you with another great guest next week. Bye.